Welcome back to Christy TV. The worst has happened to Reuben Abati as Joseph Okechuku and Okey Bakassi warned Abati to apologize or resign. My correct people, them not be smart. In this particular one, known as Reuben Abati, has gone to Arise TV, the morning show, to talk ill about Igbo people, saying that Igbo doesn't sell their land. My correct people, then what type of record is this man trying to set out there against the Igbos? Why would you say that Igbos does not sell their lands to outsiders? However, this is not accurate to say that Igbo do not sell land to outsiders in reality. My correct people, then there are some certain land that Igbo people, no matter whoever you are, they will not try to sell it to you. It has to do with ancestral land. Ancestral land is not anyhow land. So culture is also culture. We have tradition, we have culture. And again is that why would you say that Igbo doesn't sell their lands to outsiders when you are not even residing in Igbo land? If you are residing in Igbo land and doing your business in Igbo land, fortunately, you want to buy any land that you want to buy in Igbo land, and the people that want to sell the land want to sell it, they will sell it to you, not minding where you come from. My correct people, they are make una know they mislead people in this particular country within so Nigeria. I don't even understand. Is it because you are Igbo, that is why you are non-Igbo, and you feel like you can come outside and talk ill of Igbo people? My correct people, them Nigerian Igbo people don't give a water to this particular rebel. Make una hear wetin Okesima and others talk concerning this particular matter, where Reuben come on Arise TV, they talk against the Igbo people. Make una don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on the notification button so that you get notified of all latest news. Christy TV got you covered.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, so after that unfortunate incident on Arise Television, an incident in which Reuben Abati, I would say almost intentionally, decided to go on live television to mischaracterize an entire nation of people, the Igbos. After that incident, I honestly promised myself that I was going to address Reuben Abati directly. But then when I saw the way people reacted, the reaction was very swift. It was very quick from all over the place. Nobody took that lightly. And Reuben began to feel the heat. At that point, I said to myself, okay, Joseph, maybe you need to just tap it down a little bit and just let it slide. And truly, I was going to let it slide. And then something happened. I stumbled on an exchange, almost violent, hostile exchange that the same Reuben had with his colleague on live TV again. Oji Okwe, right? Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing the name right. She was just literally trying to get this guy to understand, look, this is what has happened. What do you say about this? And he flared up. And it became too obvious and too clear to me that Reuben Abati, or whatever he calls himself, knew exactly what he was doing. What happened with that situation was that Reuben unconsciously or subconsciously betrayed the bigotry that has been residing deep inside his soul when he did what he did. And that's why he appeared very unremorseful when he was now having that exchange with Oji Okwe, the lady, the beautiful lady that works with him on Arise Television. Reuben didn't care. The young woman was trying to get him to reason with what has happened. Reuben didn't care. And that was when I made up my mind that no matter what happens, I am going to make my voice heard on this matter. And right before, because I've been traveling, before I arrived at my destination, someone sent me a video of Professor, is it Okechuku or something, who was also on Arise Television to set the record straight. Now, turns out that the so-called TOS Benson actually received a free land. Reuben was trying to paint Igbos as people who don't like selling land to foreigners, but they want to buy land in other people's homelands. That was the dent he wanted to put on Igbos. But it turns out now, because he didn't do his research, he's not a good journalist, if he's even a journalist at all. Turns out that the same people he said they rejected or they refused to sell land to TOS Benson, that they actually gave him free land on which he built post office for the community. Now, I don't even call myself a journalist, but if I write anything, if I put stuff out there in the public domain, go check it well. I have done my proper research on it. That's why I campaigned for Donald Trump. I sold him to Africans. And I sold him with facts, with the truth. I wasn't selling emotions and sentimentalism to people. I was selling facts. And that's why the people bought. If his approval rating was 15% when I started the journey, it is about 75 to 80% across the continent today. That's the work of a good journalist, and I'm not even one. Reuben did not do his due diligence. He didn't do any research, not even one. Why would you come on a live television? In my own village today, I can take you physically, hold you by the hand, and take you to places. I'm not talking about Enugu town. I remember the professor, the good professor, very intelligent man. He gave instances of places in Enugu, in Onitsha, where Yoruba Hausa people own lands. But I'm talking about my village. My village. I will show you where Hausa people own lands. Where Yoruba people own land. I will personally take you and show you. Who sold it to them? Who gave it to them? Our people sold the lands to them. Why would you go out there and generalize even if this was something that happened? Was it worth you coming on air to talk about it? I had a very nasty experience in Lagos, Nigeria years ago, and it happened twice. It's still happening till this very day as I make this video. I was about to rent a home somewhere on the mainland. I found a place because I don't like the mainland of Lagos. I prefer the island, but I found this estate I loved. It was the first time I loved the place on the mainland. I said, okay, I want to get a home here. I found this nice duplex. I said, I want it. I told my agent, make the plans, let's get it. He told me that it's done, sir. Let me just get all the papers and you will just pay. When it was time to make payment, the landlord said he needed to know who was renting his home. They told me it was an Igbo man. The man said, no, I don't rent my house to Igbos. He did not mince words. He said it to the guy. Tell him that I don't rent my house to Igbos. In fact, he warned the agent and said, never bring any Igbo person to rent my property again. It was the first time in my life I heard anything like it. And it happened back to back. There was another location we went to. The same exact thing happened. I have my money. I have everything. But I can't get a place to rent and pay and rent because I am an Igbo man. In Yoruba land. It's still happening till tomorrow. The reason why they don't want to rent to Igbos, do I know? Because I know Igbos, they may not be the richest, but they have a lot of money. There are too many countless Igbo landlords in Lagos who rent homes, apartments to Yoruba people. Some of them have issues with their tenants. Some of them don't. And I'm sure there are Yoruba people too who rent homes to Igbos. At the end of the day, the place I finally got on the island is still a Yoruba person that I took it from. No wahala. Am I going to now generalize and say, hey, these Yoruba people are big gods, this and these other people don't want to rent Igbos, the other ones rented to an Igbo person. You cannot use one single story to generalize and mischaracterize an entire nation of people. How dare you, Reuben Abati? And yet you still feel so arrogant about it, so conceited. If I were you, I would rush and go and apologize to those people, because according to Prof, those people are feeling traumatized by this very callous, careless, childish, ignorant display that took place on Arise Television. How could you do that to a whole people? The people are like, why is this man saying this about us? The man wanted to buy land. We ended up giving to him free of charge. And somebody is here tarnishing our image. Go and apologize to those people. If you don't apologize to them, you are not fit to continue to call yourself a journalist.
Well, I'll begin by contextualizing Reuben's observations. Then I'll touch on T.O. Benson himself, some other statements and activities associated with him in connection with land. Then I'll raise core issues about why it is not always easy to get land in some areas, and what those of us who are actually from the Southeast, the challenge we have among ourselves about land, beginning with Reuben. Yes, like you said, he started by pointing out some good things about the people from that part of the country. Then he made a reference to the comments of T.O.S. Benson. Reuben was not speaking as Reuben Abati. It was reported speech. In other words, he was telling us what he heard. That's number one. Number two, there's then the perception, okay, if a man as Benson would say this, there's also the possibility that this is factually correct. But that's if what Benson said. You've said he's not a flippant person. That is correct. But what if in that instance, actually, the statement is not correct? And I asked that question knowing for a fact T.O.S. Benson's in-laws are Mbiri people. That's the place of the former Minister of Education, Obaji, the husband Sam. We spoke about some of these things. He is their in-law. He was their in-law. Now, when I marry your daughter and I come to you for land, should you look at me as a possible source of income, or should you consider the fact that my daughter is in your custody? In fact, rather than sell land to you, I'll give one to you. The closer my daughter is, the easier it is for me to be sure she's being well taken care of. So for the record and for all of us, Mbiri people gave land, donated land to Chief Benson at Mbiri, which he used, in fact, at his own discretion to construct a post office for the people. And the structure is still there. So recontextualization, Reuben did not set out to misinform anybody by the statement he made, but he was correctly quoting Chief Benson. Now, so let us also get it to that point. And then when the altercation, if you like that expression, between him and his colleague, brilliant presenter, the young lady, remember he said, in a bit of anger, which was a little too heated, that if others, apparently he has some other sources, and if others have, let them present anthropological evidence. Now, the point there is this. You can carry out a research on the behavior of Gwagwalada people. That research will require field work. The result you get will depend on whom you interviewed. And if later I read that work, I'll say, oh, Gwagwalada people have these qualities. And I make this with, I recall that 2019, yes, I was in charge of Tambuwal's campaign for president, and some people came and presented in poll results with 58% showing that Nigerians wanted him to be president. I told him, Your Excellency, this is a non-starter. He said, how? Delegate elections is not a popular election. So you carry out a poll among people in the street, everyone knows who they are, and you come to say, which Nigerians? So you get the point that even where you have anthropological evidence of this sort, secure through polls and research and questionnaires, it doesn't guarantee anything. Why I take this trajectory is for us not to. There's what you call reported speech. In interpretative writing, when I make a statement and you say, Okechuku said, you're conveying what I said. If I now say Okechuku said and I agree, I'm endorsing, I'm taking ownership. So having contextualized it from the origin of the expression itself, that it was a narrated story, I've also presented counterfactual that the man actually has land donated to him. I will add that the former director of works at the Federal University of Technology in Owerri has land in Owerri that he bought. That's where he lives. He's a farmer today. If you go to Owerri, you have the Rotibi Street off Douglas Road. That street is named after a Yoruba man who back then bought practically the entire area. He was a great entrepreneur. Those the Igbo people who own lands in those areas bought it from him. Then, of course, you recall that Umoru Atine Alaji was a mayor of Enugu sometime in the 60s, or was it 50s now? He was also in charge of land allocation. Igbos didn't meet and selling, don't sell to outsiders. If you go to Enugu today, the one area, Garki area, people from all over the country have land there. So there's, I think even for me personally, when I watched the controversy, I said, thank you, Reuben, because this has thrown up a matter on which there should be national discourse. More people will gain information and will all be the better for it. That's the essential point. The second one is about land generally. You don't have too many people who are not Easterners who have land. And the question is, why is it that people have land elsewhere? Because there's business elsewhere. Tell me, what federal establishments do you have in Enugu, in all over the southeast, that will make me leave my place in Yoruba land to come and buy land? Is it to be a villager? So we must also see the connection between national infrastructure, national institutions, national political headquarters, etc. The limited absence of that in the southeast makes the land there totally unattractive for anybody to procure. Why are Igbos buying up lands in Lagos? Because they need it. And I speak from some involvement in what's going on at that area of business. Little Road used to be made up of a couple of tiny bungalows. The same with Enowa Street. Go to Enowa today, there's no building there that's less than two-story buildings. Check the history, you'll find out that it was the traders who went to negotiate with most of the people. Allow me build a two-story building here. I will use it for warehousing. You live in part of it. After 10 years, it becomes yours and I begin to rent. And I speak because I know those who did that, some of them who were direct relations. That's how most of those places got built up. You may also recall that Ndubisi Kanu, an Igbo man at a point he was governor, actually met with the people, called them to a meeting and said, stop selling land. Do leases. Make this arrangement. That's when this alternative thing came up. Now, an Igbo man will not go to Newe and build a two-story building to store his things because there's no port near him. He will be throwing his money away. So all of that, you can take it into account. Why will I leave Kanu to come and buy land in Imo State or in Anambra State? Am I on drugs? There is nothing going on in those places. So the political economy of the Nigerian state is also partly responsible for the things we are blaming on other things. Now, putting all of that aside even, let's pretend all of this doesn't exist. National infrastructure. The rail system of any nation is at the arteries of that country. Do you have rail in Nigeria? Yes. Do you have it in the southeast? No. Did you used to have it in the southeast? Yes. How did some of us know places like Saminaka, Kajuru, Lafia, etc.? It was because we traveled by road. You don't have that anymore. And so, putting that aside as well, let's come to the issue of land. You say, land holding system. No, I'm not going to talk about land holding system, but I'm going to talk about personal experience. The southeast is land choked. The land is not available. You go to most places in the southeast, you find that people bury in their compounds. My parents are no more. One of my sisters is no more. They are buried in the old family compound. My cousin Ide has a section of his land he uses for that. So there are other things to be understood. First, the land is not available. Where is available and you want to buy it, you buy. Go to Onitsha. Onitsha Business School is owned by Shogbeson. Professor Shogbeson is a Yoruba man. He started it in 2010. So it's not like saying, it's only in the 60s, These days, they are not doing it. Today, it is thriving as one of the best business schools, working with the people. Last week, I went there to give the keynote address on innovative entrepreneurship for under 45s. Most of those who came were the people in the environment. You wouldn't know he doesn't belong there. So in essence, taking it, in that trajectory, what has emerged is a perception that was fueled or is being fueled by people who talk about it. Reuben diligently acknowledged the virtues of the Igbos he knew. Put a however based on a story by Chief Benson. Looking back at it, I don't know whether Chief Benson meant it in jest, but the fact that he has land actually donated to him by Mbiri people, who are now, right now, in fact, I understand, very, very angry about all of this, that they are being misrepresented, where he went out of his way to build them a post office on that land, etc. And also the cultural practice.
But Prof.
That your in-law wants land near you.
Prof, sir, if I may cut in.
Still on this issue of Igbos don't sell land to strangers. Wait, in my last video, you guys came to crucify me. In fact, some people went as far as coming to my DM to insult me, insult my tribe. It's all right. I understand your pain. But here, see, let me explain better. Or let me explain. Now, this whole issue started from when Dr. Reuben Abati said on Arise TV, and he gave an example of the former minister T.O.S. Benson, that he went to his in-laws and, to buy land, and they refused to sell to him. Now, research has shown that that former minister T.O.S. Benson, that Dr. Reuben used as an example, his in-law actually refused to sell the land to him because in our tradition, on Igbo tradition, Igbos do not sell land to in-laws because you marry their daughter. They would rather give it to you. So those in-laws of former minister T.O.S. Benson, his in-laws actually gave him that land. They did not sell, which he later used to build a post office for them.
It's your noise, your lamentation that wake me up this morning. Even I thought this issue would have died down, but I don't know why you people insist every day, every morning, dragging Reuben Abati. Although I don't pity Reuben Abati, he got what he deserves because he is the leader of the propaganda that is going on Harass TV. So they harass people, Harass TV. So right now that they come against him and all of them are dragging him, do you want me to pity him? No, I don't pity him. So he need to face his music, and it's not representing anybody. So that's what they do on Arise TV. So they appeal to the conscience of a sections of this country. That is not what a good media house should represent. And right now, if they throw jabs, a subtle jabs at you, they will be feeding you with what you want. Sometimes when you get what you don't like from Arise TV or Harass TV, then you need to take it as it is. So I'm not pitying Reuben Abati, but let us discuss issue here. Let us talk about the issue. So what is the issue raised by Reuben Abati? Is the issue accurate, correct, wrong, misrepresentation, or what? So let us quickly dive in. So Reuben Abati has make a quote, and quoted somebody who was frustrated, T.O.S. Benson, who was frustrated when he tried to get a land from Igbo land, and they frustrated him, and they make him to make that statement. Was a former minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria, and looking at that status alone, you can get property anywhere in Nigeria. So that is why after maybe some family frustrated him, he voiced out, and when he voiced out, he made this particular statement quoted by Reuben Abati. So this statement has generating a lot of reactions. Some Igbo people thought that it's a personal attack to the Igbos, which I don't think so. Talking about issue, not individual, because for me, I really like what Reuben Abati is getting from people he once served I love that. So that Igbo don't sell land to outsider may not be far from reality, may not be far from truth. So a lot of people have experienced and have shown frustration over this, not only Reuben Abati, and some of the Igbo people also have said something similar to this, but they were not dragged because of what they are, Igbo people. But if outsider now make reference to what has been already said, and you people are calling for his head, why now? Why now? And I saw a lot of commentators anyway, people started talking. That's when they started reacting. And also, someone appeared again on Arise TV now, begin to come and explain to do a damage control and all that. At the end of the day, he said TOS Benson was giving land, did not sell it for him, was giving land. You know, after he has experienced frustration, it is normal for some family to call him, okay, please, I know your frustration, come and take this. But previously they have denied him land. He wanted to buy, they denied him land. And I also listened to some that only reference company owned, maybe by outsider Yoruba and not that. But we are talking of individual here. If you as an individual, you want to buy a land, you will sweat. I know time has passed and they have been adjusting. There's no doubt about that there's some adjustment to this, but it's still rampant. So Reuben Abati made a statement or a quotation of truth. The quotation is correct, and there's nothing like hate or Igbophobia. I don't know who coined that word, Igbophobia. There's nothing. Nobody is fearing any tribe. Nobody. We all live together as in Nigeria, and those who practice this the more are the one accusing other of practicing such. It's not good. I believe Southeast generally should be opened. So if you cage your land that no outsider will not access it, then you are running for development. Why Lagos is developing rapidly is because of the open-minded. Lagos was open to everybody. It's a land for all. So if you have anything you want to contribute, if you have company you want to build, then Lagos will accommodate you. And that is why even in my state and Ogun State, where Dangote refinery is supposed to cited his company, I don't know, because of issues and other, they frustrated Dangote, talking about Olokola. So Dangote now moved to Lagos. So if you want to develop, you have to also consider not everything is not about money or it's not about tradition and all that. So supposing Olokola consider Dangote, maybe we have much development talking about the border of Ondo State and Ogun State. I know what I'm saying. So if any region want to develop, in the region need to be opened to everybody. So the easy access to land must be there. So if you have your money, you can easily get land. So that is what we are saying. Nobody is hating one another. Nobody is hating you and all that. And please, if you throw out hate, I usually say it, you throw out hate, you will get it back. What you sow is what you will reap. You throw out hate, you get hate. You throw out love, you get love. So we live together. The statement from Reuben Abati is correct, but there's some adjustment over the year. That is what we should be telling ourselves. We should be truthful to ourselves. So attacking Reuben Abati will not solve anything. Will not solve anything. All right, guys, I may be wrong. Maybe you know better than me. Let us talk in the comment section. And please join us. Don't forget to share this content. Don't forget to share this video. Share it, like it, and I will see you in another video.
My correct people, they're waiting on God talk concerning this matter. So many things where they say that whenever things have been mentioned about the Igbo, some people will say that, yeah, does it mean that Igbo should not be mentioned in the country or whatever it might be? It is clear that in this particular issue that this Reuben Abati said concerning the Igbo people is fact, is a lie. Yeah, you can only buy land in a place that you are living. You can't just be living in Ikotu and then you go to Abati to go and buy land. You can't be residing in Lagos and then you move immediately, go to Igbo land, just buy something and leave it there. Do you understand? You don't have any investment plan, nothing. You just, how can you just be far place without having any proper investment plan? And you say that, okay, you want to buy, like just buying for buying sake. No. Like the way Igbos are doing in Lagos State, Igbos reside in Lagos State, they buy land in Lagos State, they build in Lagos State, and they reside in Lagos State. Do you see that? How many other part of Nigerians are residing in Igbo land? That is what you people should ask yourself. I don't understand why this man should come on air, or especially on this particular morning showroom in Arise TV and start blabbing, talking ill about Igbo people, knowing too well that Igbo people are his in-law. He married our daughter. He married our sister. So why would you be bashing your wife people for crying out loud? Your in-law people that gave you your life partner, you are still bashing them for crying out loud. Knowing too well that these people gave you land for free in which you build a post office. You wanted to buy land, they said no. They gave you the land free of charge because you are their in-law. Yet you still have the guts to come on air to talk ill about these people that gave you a portion of land for free, knowing too well that you're not even their son, but you became their son as a result of getting married to their daughter. Anyway, my correct people then, we all know that Okechuku Joseph have addressed this particular issue with other people concerning this Reuben Abati's. So now do well to tell us in the comment section your opinion regarding this particular scenario happening since few days now, ever since this particular man known as Reuben come on Arise News to talk ill about Igbo people, say that Igbo doesn't sell their lands to outsiders. What is your opinion regarding this? If you actually have connection with Igbo people, can you just tell us in the comment section what you have to say concerning this particular statement? Are you in or against what this man known as Reuben said concerning